What is up, YouTube? Hey, I done jumped all the way ahead. Hey, Diddy lost it. Hammer attack alleged in court. Golly. Dude, check this out, man. She is not a victim. They talking about J-Lo. Oh my gracious, she is a co-conspirator. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. We're gonna get right into this joint. Let's check it out. Here we go, man. This is
I agree
crazy.
wholeheartedly. And Andy, she's no victim. Listen, far be it from me to ever take away someone's victimization, but she is no victim. She is a co-conspirator.
That's Natasha, y'all. That's Natasha. Shout out to her.
Wholeheartedly. And Andy, she's no victim. Listen, far be it from me to ever take away someone's victimization, but she is no victim. She is a co-conspirator. I am the only surviving witness from back then of his first set of victims.
J-Lo faces court grilling in Diddy trial as his legal team fights to dismiss evidence from infamous 1999 New York club shooting.
Wow.
There is video footage out there. If I'm not mistaken, she was interviewed by Entertainment Tonight years ago. And they asked her, why did she and Puffy break up? And she said, let's just say she looked around with a pregnant pause and said, our relationship ended with a bang. The video's out there.
We have got to talk about J-Lo and if she's going to be possibly called into this trial. But guys, I just want to shout out quickly my good friend Andy Signor over at Popcorn Planet. He actually interviewed the victim. She's actually come on his show before, but he interviewed the victim specifically about J-Lo, that nightclub shooting, and what happened back in 1999. He's interviewed about that, but specifically they're talking about this trial and bringing in different tea. So we're going to cut to that in a second, but I want to shout him out. And I will link the original below, but I want to give you a little bit from this article first, just to lay some groundwork. Jennifer Lopez faces being dragged into ex-Sean Diddy Combs' high-profile sex trafficking trial as prosecutors seek to use evidence from the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting that led to both stars being arrested. Now, I just want to say this. At that time, there was a rapper named Shine, and he was under Bad Boy's label. And he actually got convicted for that shooting, for those charges, and went to jail, I believe, or prison for about 10 years. But he has come out last year, I want to say, because I covered it. I can't remember all the details. But last year, he came out. He is now I forget what island he's from, but he's from the Caribbean, but he is now like a politician. Like he got out and completely changed his life. But it was assumed for a lot of years that he just took the fall for Diddy, that Diddy somehow paid him or convinced him or bribed him or blackmailed him into taking the fall for that shooting. But everyone always believed that Diddy was the one that actually did it. Well, then Shine came out last year and was like, I did not shoot him. And essentially saying that like Diddy is the one who did the shooting. The witness, the lady we're going to get to, she says it was Diddy who shot her, not Shine. And she has been very clear about that for years, since the beginning. But somehow prosecutors went after Shine. So it's really wild. It's a whole thing. I might pop in a clip or something like that here, but let's continue with this story for now.
And what makes it so bad is Shine and Natasha, they was friends. Natasha tells the story about Shine going to the recording studio. They all did music together. Natasha, Miss Rubin. I'm gonna call her Miss Rubin. How about that? That's better for me. She was at a studio and one of her friends brought Shine in, and that's how they met. And Shine actually rapped on one of her songs or something like that while they was in the studio. Now I don't think it was no big time recording, and they ain't make it into a hit song or anything, but they knew each other. It's the point I'm making. That's wild, man. Here we go.
Now, the singer and then boyfriend Diddy were at a club in New York in Manhattan on December 27th, 1999, when gunfire broke out inside the venue. the music mogul was accused of firing a gun in the shootout that left 3 people injured, including Natania Rubin, who was struck in the face but miraculously survived. I believe it hit her in her nose. She had to have plastic surgery. It hit her directly in the face. It was really awful, pretty gruesome. Both J-Lo and Diddy were arrested in relation to the incident, but Lopez was not charged and Combs was later acquitted. Okay, so it was all about the gun charge, I believe, that he was on trial for, or the shooting itself. Either way, Diddy got off. He skated by, and Shine is the one that took the fall and went to prison. Diddy's lawyers are now fighting to exclude the incident from evidence in his upcoming trial. So this first part of this article was like a little bit before the trial kicked off. Okay, so but now we're in the middle of the trial. So if it's like using like the trial is to begin, just know that they refreshed the article over this weekend and added more details, but the original was like a few days before the trial started. Court documents filed earlier this month revealed that Bad Boy founder is also seeking to exclude the notorious video of him beating up his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, from the case, arguing that nobody could authenticate it. So, but the video got in. Okay, so we know that. So there's J-Lo and Diddy back in the day. Okay, there that is Diddy walking on Star Island, where in Miami. This is where he lived. They call it Billionaire Island, where a bunch of billionaires have homes there. And that is where it was. A lot of things have gone down in that home, but that home is where you saw the Miami home getting raided. It was there. This is a video of him after he was raided. Before he was arrested, him just going on these walks with his security. And of course, wearing this necklace, I guess, of his parents or grandparents or something, trying to look like a family man, like dragging your young daughters into the court. But I will say this about his daughters coming into court. Keep in mind, they're the same age as Cassie when he began grooming her. So there you go. All right, continuing. They're talking about the racketeering thing, but here we go. Okay, so Diddy's lawyers made their pitch to the judge in motions that are usually filed this close to a trial and are one of the last chances for the defense to shape what will be kept back from the jury. The fact prosecutors are aiming to use the club New York shooting means that Lopez seems set to be mentioned during trial. After the incident, Diddy and Lopez left the club and were chased by police through Manhattan, and they were stopped. Officers found a stolen gun in the car. Lopez was not charged, but Diddy was put on trial for gun and bribery charges and acquitted. So that's what I was saying. He was never charged for the shooting, just the gun charges. Okay. And I didn't know there was bribery included in that. This man, there's always some bribery with him. So there she is, Natania, where she got shot. Okay. Just another picture of Diddy. They just filled this whole thing up with pictures. Ugh. Anyone finds this man attractive. It is all money. I'm sorry. That's the only way you can be attracted to that. But let's keep going.
Oh my God, that's cold. That's cold, man. Cause yeah, that's cold. That's cold.
In the legal filings, Diddy's lawyers argued that the testimony of a key witness in the Club New York shooting was patently incredible because he claimed the rapper tried to bribe him. While the witness in question was not named, it appeared to refer to Diddy's former chauffeur, Wardell Fenderson, who claims he was asked to take the blame for the gun being found in the car, just like Shine was to take the blame for the actual shooting. Diddy's lawyers say this story was highly questionable because no $50,000 diamond ring Diddy supposedly used to try and bribe Fenderson with was ever found. Assuming the story is true would be a fantastical assumption, Diddy's lawyers claimed. They also objected to prosecutors bringing up accusations that he beat up a record executive in New York in 1999. He admitted harassment and was sentenced to an anger management class. Diddy's attorney said the common thread running through the government's trial strategy is to argue that Mr. Combs has been a criminal his whole life and is a bad person. Well, the stories are out there. Okay. The stories are out there. People, all these people aren't making it up. We've seen it, Diddy. Look at J-Lo. Is she upset about something? He's getting chewed out. Was she part of the freak-offs? All the women that he's been with, I feel like they were part of the freak-offs. Jennifer Lopez was not a huge star back then. She was just like a Cassie. She was older, but she was like a Cassie. She was closer in age to Diddy. She's older. But from what I'm seeing,
she was kind of well known, though. She was well known.
The first person that he put through the freak-offs and the abuse and all of that. So you have to keep that in mind. We have questions about all these people who have stayed so silent, all these celebrities. J-Lo needs to speak out, but of course, I guess she wants to keep her secrets buried, but they're not going to stay buried for so long. There she is again. Okay, in a bigger picture. The government has defined the racketeering offenses very broadly to include his entire personal and professional life spanning 2 decades. On top of the charges, the government now seeks to admit numerous uncharged alleged acts of sexual misconduct and supposed violence. Every bad thing Combs has ever supposedly done in his entire adult life, the attorneys added. The strategy is transparent. All the government really seeks to do is show that Mr. Combs is a violent, dangerous, and deviant person who deserves to be locked up, regardless of whether it can actually prove the somewhat technical elements of the charged offenses beyond a reasonable doubt. This strategy should not be allowed. All right, so this was, then they start to get into the whole Cassie video and all of that.
Nice his voice.
And I'll just don't you agree? Said, and I want to bring it back to this before we wrap, because as introduce you that way, but I want people to give you the respect you deserve because you really. The Diddy trial is in. We have John Witherspoon, Esquire here. And
before I get into playing these clips, I just want to say really quickly, several legal analysis have been done. Okay. There's different people, whether on content creators, or I've been reading legal opinions. The government is proving their case. A lot of people are saying, well, I don't understand the racketeering, or I don't understand how that fits in, or Cassie's lying, or this is happening, that's happening. Understand, the government does not come to play. When they bring you to trial, usually it's going to be a slam dunk. They don't have the high conviction rate that they do for no reason. From what I'm hearing, they are methodically laying out and showing the charges. Their case is pretty solid. Whether you want to believe Cassie or not, they're proving it, not just with Cassie, but understand she's just one witness out of many. There's a redundancy. They're going to prove it over and over. So if you don't believe one witness, well, there's another witness, and then another witness, and then another witness. And some elements they've already proven. Like the prostitution one, that's already been proven through the escorts. If you don't believe Cassie, the escorts, and many more of these men are set to testify. So they are laying out their case, and I don't care what anybody is telling you, the government is not messing up. I don't care if it gets a little fiery. At this point, they are well on their way to convicting Diddy and him spending life in prison. We have to keep following because, again, juries the case can be laid out perfectly, but juries can be fickle. You never know what can happen in a jury trial.
And they have not brought out their firepower. Right now, they just got little cap guns out. Cap. They ain't bring out no bazookas or nothing like that yet. And it's coming. Remember that. It's something that this judge, 3 of them or more, said denied bail. Something told them to deny bail. You got to remember that. Here we go.
Right. So I don't want to make it like I know how the end is going to be, but I have been studying this. And guys, I believe he's cooked. He's going to be cooked. So here we go.
And Tanya, who, yes, was shot by Diddy. I hate to always have to introduce you that way, but I want people to give you the respect you deserve because you really went through it. So honored to have you both here. Tanya, you've been on the replays. We've been here. So have you, John. We've been recapping every day's Diddy case trial.
I'm going to skip forward in a second because he does a whole thing talking about the Diddy trial. I will link the original below, but I want to fast forward to another part where Natanya starts talking about that 1999 club shooting.
I want to get to the J-Lo of it all as well, because man, her silence is deafening, Natanya. Like, if she was this victim of Diddy, which I'm not saying she was, clearly she might be less of a victim than she keeps claiming to be, because if she really experienced similar things as Cassie, even remotely, which she's implied she has with the infidelity and so on, holding the firearm, etc., her silence is crazy. Why isn't she getting grilled in court? Why isn't she part of this? In fact, why aren't you, Natanya? That whole case feels incredibly relevant. Don't you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly. And Andy, she's no victim. Listen, far be it from me to ever take away someone's victimization, but she is no victim. She is a co-conspirator. There's a difference. She's a co-conspirator. And here's why. She took the arms into the nightclub by the admission of the two police detectives that investigated the case, Artie Cadigan and Joe Sweeney. They said on another podcast, The Proffer, that she took it in. They reviewed the entire surveillance. The only people that were not searched were J-Lo and Puffy. So not only did she take them in, and we have Cassie verifying that this is in fact a practice that he did.
She just, not to interrupt, yes, she said it 2 days ago on the stand that she had to do it for him.
And then here's the thing, which is why, like I said the other day, why you have to have someone from the culture, because this is something that is indicative of hood conduct and behavior. Guys give a woman, their girlfriend, the chick that's with the crew, the arms to take into the establishment, because the likelihood is that the men will be searched, but the women won't be so drastically searched. And that is something that is conditional of the hood. It's known, but you have to be of the culture to know the relevance of these things. I mean, if you do a cursory search of hip hop songs where some guy says, "I give my arms to the girl to take in," you will be shocked how many songs come up, because it's standard practice. J-Lo is not a victim. She's a co-conspirator, and she needs to be brought in, because not only did she bring it in, but then she threw it out the window when they were evading the police. New York is full. The jails in New York and all over the country are full of people who have done the exact same thing as she. And yet she was allowed to escape. Not anymore.
And to be clear, for those who are saying, "Oh no, but Shine took the heat," and that Shine didn't, you are going to say it again. Shine isn't the one who hit you.
Shine is no victim. Shine pew-pewed Julius Jones in the shoulder. I was pew-pewed in the face by Puffy. I've said that for 25 years straight. People have selective hearing. People hear what they want to hear. The same way
there was corrupt.
So I paused. When I spoke earlier, I was just speaking about her being a victim, but I wasn't thinking about there were other victims. So Shine did shoot a gun, but he got convicted of shooting, I believe, her as well. But she says it was not Shine who shot me. Shine shot another person, Julius, whatever his name was, Julius. But I was shot directly by Diddy, Puffy at the time. He changed his name, like he changed his shirts. It's crazy.
Option too, no?
Absolutely. And the same way in this case, the U.S. attorneys would not produce the witness list until April 18th. Ask yourself why. Because they cited in their documents when in 1999, when the witness list was produced to Puffy's attorneys early on, they picked off all the witnesses, paid everybody. They paid so many people. People got amnesia. I didn't see. I was tying my lace, all kinds of foolishness. And they learned from 24 years ago, don't make the same mistake. Do not provide that witness list. Because if you give it too early, you won't have, listen, I'm astounded that you haven't had jurors start coming down with bad coals and foolishness. I guarantee you they're trying to see who they can, if you see anybody smiling too hard or looking too positive, that juror is going to be a problem, I'm telling you.
I mean, this all does sound like a organized.
This is crazy. This whole interview, I am going to link it below in the description box. Shout out to my friend Andy Signor over at Popcorn Planet. He is also covering the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni case, which has just gone into another stratosphere. I said this in a video earlier. That case is bigger than this one. This one is more salacious, and you know, it's I think because of the sexual graphic nature of it and all of the things, and it's a RICO case. The other one is a civil case, but it is a landmark case that probably will make its way to the Supreme Court. We now have, guys, evidence, unrefutable. Well, it's not unrefutable yet, but an affidavit from Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Freeman, saying that Taylor Swift's attorney, he was informed by Taylor Swift's side, Taylor Swift, that Blake Lively has been blackmailing Taylor Swift in order to side with her and to say it's correct. Like, guys, when I tell you this case has tendrils going a million different places, if you're not watching it, I have my other channel, Melanie Offscript. That's when I've been covering it. It's gotten to the point, it's so bad. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's husband, you know, Deadpool, we call him Predator Pool now. He even blocked me. Okay. He even blocked me because he didn't like the things that I was saying. I've gotten into dust ups on social media with the director, Paul Feig, of Blake Lively's latest movie, It Ends With Us. It ends with us. Another Simple Favor. Like, when I tell you it is explosive, he is not only covering that trial like I am, but he is also doing a full-blown documentary, talking to people from the set, the witnesses. It is just, it is so big. It has the potential to bring down a huge part of Hollywood, the mainstream media. The list goes on and on and on. Sony, Marvel, Disney are all subpoenaed. They're all part of are going to be part of this lawsuit. And there's now criminal charges that are being looked at, and crimes of blackmail, extortion, like witness tampering. It is insane. But more than anything, I want you guys, make sure you check out that link. His documentary, which is going to be coming out soon, is amazing. He does great coverage. He fact checks, he double checks, all of that. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We're going to have more coming up about the Diddy trial, some more insider information. I just released a video about Usher now being dragged into this whole thing. And is he going to be called to testify? You have to watch that video. I think it's going to be on the screen right now. So let me know what you think about this video. What do you think about J-Lo? What she had to say? And with that, I will see you guys really soon.
Man, did you hear the big corporate name she just said? And y'all worried about what Cassie said? Dude, I'm telling y'all like this. The trial part of the trial hasn't even started yet. It couldn't have started. That's why I'm in the Philippines, but I'm going up to New York. I'm going up there, man. I didn't want to go up there too early because, you know, you start off kind of slow. I want to be there when the meat hit the fan. Something tell me I'm going up there, I'm going to go back home, and I'm going right back up there. Traveling to New York. I might have to go up there the first time to see how things gonna be. Go back home and then go back so I can go to work. Yeah, I'm going up there twice. I can see that happening now. Look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. This is the last video from the Philippines.